What do you know about quantum mechanics?
I have a grasp on the basics.
Then you're doing it wrong. Is light made up of particles or waves? Quantum mechanics says it's both. How can it be both?
It can't.
It can't. But it is. It's paradoxical, and yet it works.
A paradox is a situation or statement that seems impossible or is difficult to understand because it contains two opposite facts of characteristics. Socrates' paradox of knowledge is probably the most well-known example within philosophy. All that I know is that I know nothing. It seems paradoxical because Socrates upholds knowing nothing, yet he knows something. Paradoxes in philosophy often offer arguments for or against a certain idea. They are often interesting because they are powerful tools that make us think about the very core of an idea and even make us question certain beliefs that we have upheld our whole life. In what follows, I will discuss three of the most important paradoxes in philosophy: the Paradox of Apel, the Paradox of the Ship of Theseus, and the Paradox of Omnipotence. Stick around to learn more about the three paradoxes that changed my view on life. The Paradox of Apel. Apel's paradox goes as follows. Technological and scientific progress present us with global crises. Technological and scientific progress present us with the answer to global crises. Technological and scientific progress only offer us facts, not values, upon which people take action. This results in knowing the solution to global crises but not acting according to it. Take for example global warming, which is caused by rapid technological evolution. We know the answer to global warming is to reduce carbon emission, recycle, etc. Yet regardless of this knowledge, we do not act accordingly. Modern ideas such as technocracy are actually based on this paradox. A technocracy is a society where the goals of that society are no longer determined by the democratic will of the people, but are determined by that which makes scientific progress or economical progress possible. For example, a few weeks ago, when the CEO of ChatGPT was fired for taking risks in his development of the text generative AI model, he was reinstated by Microsoft because the scientific progress and economical profit he guaranteed were more important than the potential risks and ethical lines he might cross. When technological progress determines the goals for humanity and common thought are second to these technological enhancements, the risk of inhumane and global catastrophes rise. The Paradox of the Ship of Theseus. The Paradox of the Ship of Theseus is a paradox on the continuity of identity of an object if all parts of the object are replaced, first accounted by Plutarch. The ship, wherein Theseus and the youth of Athens returned from Crete, had 30 hours and was preserved by the Athenians down even to the time of Demetrius, for they took away the old planks as they decayed, putting in new and stronger timber in their places, insomuch that this ship became a standing example among the philosophers for the logical question of things that grow, one side holding that the ship remained the same, and the other contending that it was not the same. This paradox challenges our understanding of identity and the nature of existence. It forces us to question whether our identity is tied to physical continuity or some other factors like memory or function. Yet, on a more personal level, the paradox can lead to introspection about the nature of identity and personal change. It raises the question on whether we remain the same person over time despite undergoing physical, emotional, and intellectual transformations. The answer to this question has consequences for our ethical and legal framework. Are you, for example, still responsible for an action when 10 years after this action you have completely changed? There are a few real-life examples of the Ship of Theseus. The USS Constitution, a ship first laid in 1794, has undergone numerous changes. The USS Constitution has essentially none of its original wood, yet it is not considered a replica. The same goes for numerous old Roman houses in different cities. What do you think the answer is to the paradox of the Ship of Theseus? The Paradox of Omnipotence. The Paradox of Omnipotence goes as follows. Imagine an omnipotent being. Would it be able to create a stone so heavy it could not lift it itself? Either the omnipotent being would be able to create such a stone and not lift it, or it would be unable to create such a stone and be able to lift any stone. In both cases, however, the omnipotent being would not be truly omnipotent. Thus, there is something paradoxical about the idea of omnipotence. It is a rather interesting paradox, as the idea of omnipotence is often used to prove the existence of God. Augustine, one of the central figures in both Christianity and philosophy, argues that God would be unable to create something that would make it not God. If God creates a stone that it is unable to lift, he would no longer be God and thus unable to create such a stone. This argument itself uses paradoxical reasoning. Omnipotence can never make itself non-omnipotent. I think this answer is just great. It shows the power of our reasoning based purely on concepts. Hi there, my name is Raven. I'm one of the two dudes behind this channel. If you enjoyed this video, let us know what you thought. Any paradoxes that you thought would have been more interesting? Do you have any interesting ideas to share about the paradoxes mentioned? Let us know and we can discuss. Two Dudes Philosophy wants to be a place where people interested in philosophy can discuss ideas that are underexposed on the internet.